Animal Collective, Isn't It Now? Album review, let's chat about it. Hey friends, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this latest album from legendary Neo-Psych Albert Animal Collective. You know who we're talking about. We're talking about Panda Bear, Deacon, AV, Tear, and Geologist. And this is, I believe, their 12th album. Now, as far as their discography goes, I've been very vocal on it over the years, especially their early days. Mostly the stuff that it was just Panda Bear and AV4. I've never, ever been into it. I've tried time and time again, and it just doesn't excite me. It doesn't give me that feeling that some of their later stuff does, because I will say this: you can take any project that they've put out between Sung Tongs and Merriweather Post Pavilion, and you're gonna find something truly special, something genuinely life-changing, even the EPs they were dropping at the time. And since then, it's been a little rough. With Old Animal Collective, I have been very vocal in my distaste for Centipede Hurts. I just think it's not a very good album. I don't like the noisy production. It just doesn't have many standouts for me. And shortly after, they dropped the Painting With album, which a lot of the fan base really rejected almost entirely, and I understand why, but I do enjoy a lot of it. I do enjoy the Floridada single and Golden Girls, etc. But then a few years later, they dropped the Tangerine Reef project, and that ended up being one of my top 5 worst albums of the year. This thing was a snooze fest. So much so that I almost just entirely wrote off Animal Collective. I had in my mind that they just wouldn't put out another project that I truly loved ever again. But I thought the Bridge to Quiet EP was one of the best EPs of the year and one of their best projects in, God, maybe since Merriweather Post Pavilion. And last year, I thought their Time Skips album, while not perfect, was a very solid return to form, which leads me to this latest album, Isn't It Now? I mean, for one thing, I'm shocked to hear from them so quickly, but on the other hand, this seems to be a sister album to the Time Skips project, which I enjoyed, and for the most part, we'll get to it, I did enjoy most of the singles leading up to this thing. Let's chat about it. This album starts off with Soul Capturer, and right off the bat, I'm actually pretty happy with this. This is a bright, summery track that really starts this album off in a positive note. It almost shows them reaching back into that freak folk sound that they used to have. It's so feel good, though, at the end of the day. Like, I can't listen to this without a big smile on my face. It has the overt joyousness and playfulness of their early material as well. It's super colorful, and their harmonies are absolutely divine. And as far as a sound goes from Animal Collective, this sound, they haven't missed a step, and this is a meaty jam. There's a lot of those on this album. This is over 6 minutes, but it breezes by. Broke Zodiac is also really great. I mean, as a fall boy at heart, I actually really love how summery and warm this is. It's light, it's charming, and once again, the vocal harmonies. When Animal Collective are on, they are on. And here, they are very much so on. It's one of the shortest tracks here, but it's so likable. Also, Magicians from Baltimore, as far as a jam goes, this is easily one of the best ones here. It's a 9-minute monster. But between the mystery and the drama and the mystique of this track, it really does go the distance. The cosmic synths, the dense atmosphere, the production tricks. I mean, Animal Collective are a very iconic live act. I mean, to see them live and do their music live is absolutely stunning, but their jams on albums haven't always been my favorite thing that they've done. However, this is great. It's not the most eventful track here, but if you're looking for a song that really exemplifies the wizardry of sound that Animal Collective is capable of, look no further. Also, the harmonies towards the end, I hate to keep harping on them, but my God, are they good. I think as an album overall, this absolutely works as a sort of sister album to the Time Skips album of last year, mostly because they're kind of on the same level. But I will say this, there are some blemishes on this project, and some tracks that I truly, really can't stand. Early on in the album, we get Genie's Open. This is another beefy jam. It's 8 minutes long. There's some real long jams on this album. We will get into it further. And let's start out with a positive. We do that here. On one hand, this atmosphere is so dense and psychedelic and playful, I can't say no to it entirely. Outside of that, though, I don't think Animal Collective are really up to snuff on this track, especially in the harmonies and vocals performance. They did not bring their A game here. I mean, for a track that is pretty meaty, I have a shocking amount to not say. But I will say this, eventually the track does get there in the final 2 minutes. The ending, the finale, is pretty unbelievable, actually. As a matter of fact, the harmonies alone may be the best on this entire record, but it just, the rest of this track does not really add up to anything interesting. And I really wish I had a tiny white flag to wave when it comes to defeat. Send help. God, send help. You know, like I said, the extended jam, it's a thing with Animal Collective, and they've released some good ones over the years, they've released some bad ones, and their live improvisational jams are life-changing. But then I hear this. I heard it as a single, a 21-minute single, and I said, you know what, maybe this will be a little bit better on the record. Zero progression, zero interesting moments. And yes, does it pick up? Sure, but at what cost? It's so bland. It's so boring. Not only is this the worst track on the album, not only is this one of the worst tracks I've heard all year, this is one of the worst Animal Collective songs I've ever heard. Like I said, yeah, things pick up about halfway through. It's not enough. And King's Walk, that ends this album off, starts out with some really strong, blissful harmonies that are just super playful, super sweet on the ears, very promising. But then you get nothing after it. You get 5.5 minutes of just that with, yeah, sure, a couple of cosmic synths here and there, a couple of production tricks there, but that's it. I personally need a little bit more. So I will say this, I probably enjoyed the Time Skips album that they dropped last year a little bit more, but this is a solid project from Animal Collective. Like Gemini, for example. Get it? Gemini. I cannot say no to this. Once again, it's so warm and joyous and inviting. The vocal performances are just so easy to take in, and the hook that we get on this track may be the most instantaneous here. I love the bouncy instrumental and the production tricks. This is just a great Animal Collective track. Stride Ride, on the other hand, is one of the most graceful and charming tracks here. The harmonies here are absolutely breaking my heart in the best way. This is more or less a ballad, which I haven't heard that many from Animal Collective, but it's done so tastefully. There's a very classic beauty to this track. It's very retro. And you know, it's probably the least experimental track here and most straightforward. People might hate that. I actually think it's really classy. And All the Clubs Are Broken, late in the album, shortest track here, it's actually a really great track. It's really sweet, it's really charming, the production is totally out there, and this instrumental is really weird and wonky, and half the time this track sounds like it was made using recycled parts of the Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack. But it's so charming, and the production, it's one of the riskier tracks here as far as that goes, but it works out really nicely. It's a solid album from Animal Collective. I mean, yeah, in the middle of it, there's a 21-minute jam that goes nowhere, as well as another blemish or two, but overall, it shows them continuing to fall in love with their original sound, which is very good here. It's very warm and summery. The harmonies are some of the best that you'll hear on any record from any genre this year. It's a fine album from Animal Collective. But I think I'll stick with Time Skips next time. I'm feeling a light 7 on this album, but let me know what you all think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.